glad you concur. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us right here on Midday, Kentucky. Lisa's concurring with something that I think should happen.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
I just thought you would like my input on that,
We
since
do.
you ripped my hair out right before
Well,
I
didn't-
had to
no.
go on.
God, you two are so dramatic. I was just playing, and this is what I did. We were about to do the promos, and I went like that, thinking it would stay, but then it got stuck, and then I panicked.
And then you ripped my hair out.
I'm
trying
like
to
one of those little brothers that you have.
Yeah,
Do you have a little brother?
extra annoying, just like
yes,
Yes.
who completely annoy you 24/7, and I think that's why I was sent away to boarding school.
Yes,
because
I think so too.
Yeah, I think so. That's why I left as well. How are you, my dear?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good, good. What about you?
hey, feeling good. I'm Girls on the Run after the show
What's
today,
that?
so I'm excited for
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's
I was
nice.
welcome
you're
on
in
the show. I'm
training for
coaching
your-
a team this year for Girls on the Run over at Ace Elementary School. So
That's right,
we have
I
our
forgot.
second practice today.
So
So,
how
I'm hoping
often-
the rain gets out of here.
Well, you've got that special hat of yours.
Yeah, I do have an umbrella hat. I'll bring it.
Please wear it today and take a picture, so I could.
Then the girls won't think I'm cool anymore.
I know. Well, they will. They will. Hey, guess what? I think it was about 2 weeks ago we did table talk for the whole show.
Yes.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
Was it?
Yeah, I
2
think it was
weeks?
about 2 weeks
Time
ago. We've
flies when
decided
you're
to
having
do it
fun.
again tomorrow. Tell us if you would like us to talk about anything in particular that you feel that's going on, not just in our community, but around the globe. Head over to Midday Kentucky's Facebook page and tell us what you'd like to hear us gasbag about. We also have Levi in, who's going to be here, as well as David. You're not going to be here. But I think Levi's coming in for the whole.
He'll
it's
be here.
3 guys and you.
Yeah.
Well, look out, we're going to gang up on you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Bring it.
Hey, now this is something really interesting. Have a listen to this. The practice of polygamy, or having more than one spouse at the same time, is illegal in all 50 states. But the percentage of Americans who say the practice is morally acceptable reached an all-time high this year, according to a new Gallup poll. Gallup has measured Americans' attitudes towards a number of social issues and behaviours such as divorce, same-sex relations, and stem cell research since 2001. In that time, the percentage of Americans who find polygamy to be morally acceptable has risen from 7 to 17%. Where do you girls stand on that?
Just doesn't matter to me at all. If this is consenting adults, I don't agree with it, but it doesn't matter to me. If there's adults, I don't care if you have 10 people in your home or however you choose to have your home. It just doesn't matter to me. I say I just never even think about it.
I feel the same way.
I just
I
don't
feel the
care.
same.
Do
I
you
know.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I'm
If-
like,
oh,
if
you
it's up
mean-
to them.
okay.
I mean, you know, to each their own.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not for me. You know, but I think it's become more popular too, because didn't they have a show, or do they have a show?
My 7 wives or
Yeah,
sister wives
I mean,
or
I
something?
think it's bringing more awareness and attention to it, and
Well,
I think that might be the reason for the increase in that,
I get
in
you.
the acceptance.
Okay, but you know what I find really interesting? And tell me whether you think I'm crazy or not. Why is it the men that it's just a single male home with 7 wives? Why can't it be 7 men with 1 wife?
Seriously.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Like, I
no,
find
but
that-
you
I
do
find
see
that
that
That is
sometimes.
kinda
That's
strange.
not
Oh, you do?
popularized. But I see it all the time on Showtime or Netflix documentaries where
Yeah.
people are living polygamous
have
lifestyles that
never
aren't
seen-
associated with religion. And maybe it's 2 men and a woman, or 2. I don't know. I don't agree with any of that, but it just doesn't matter to me if other people do it. If it works for them,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well,
Men,
you,
women.
you don't have an opinion about it. You don't agree for it in your life. Because
Yeah, but
if
I
you're
don't-
saying you agree, what do you care? What does it matter? It means you are agreeing with that it's A-okay if that's their choice. It's like having an open relationship. That's for someone else's life. You don't agree for it for your life.
No, if they were to ask me if I agree with what they're doing, I would say, no, I don't. But it doesn't matter to me that you're doing it, is
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Okay,
Yes.
I got you. Well, I just, look, I'm from Utah, everyone. Like, it's sort of, I remember when I first started working there and I had to fly back to Australia to do some work there. And I called my boss and I said, I think Utah's amazing. I've been watching this fantastic new show called Big Love. And it was about this story of a man living in Utah with 3 wives. And I said, it's just fascinating. He said, Troy, I can't believe you're saying this. We don't live like that. Well, when I got there, I realized that, on the outskirts of Utah, it's very big. And we all know with what happened with, and I've forgotten his name, so I won't pronounce, Jeff,
okay,
Jeff,
yeah.
I can't
I don't
remember,
know. Yeah.
where he had like 30,000 wives
Right.
and 17 million children,
Right.
and now in jail.
Right.
You know, it is happening, and I don't really care. I don't really have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
If that's what makes your life happy. And I said something in the pre-production meeting, and don't judge me for saying this, because I think there's some merit to it in a little bit, because I think men who feel the need to cheat, and I'm not saying all men feel the need to cheat, the men that do feel the need to cheat feel that they're not being taken care of at home by their woman, okay? So I think to myself, where, you know, there was the odds, you know, I've always said, if the cooking's good at home, you don't go out for takeout. And my father used to say all the time, you know, one woman's night off is another woman's night on. Do you know what I mean? And I think to myself, if one wife isn't fulfilling you in your needs as a man, maybe polygamy is a good thing for you.
Right.
And where you two as consenting females are okay with each other of sharing your husband. Like,
Right.
why not be open about it instead of lying and cheating and destroying a family? Do you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just not for me.
No, I don't agree
Am I
with it.
losing this
No.
argument here?
Yeah,
No.
just not for me.
I'm not saying that I'm wanting 4 wives, everyone. I'm not saying that. And I'd be a jealous little thing if I was in an open relationship, so it's not for me.
Most men can't handle one wife as far as just
Thank
living
you.
with a woman. I'm sorry, but you know, I mean, really, they can't handle us chirping at them all the time. I mean, can you imagine?
I've got 2 every day.
Having 7 of us surrounding you, chirping at you all the time. I
trust
couldn't
me.
imagine.
I still think that most people desire a monogamous relationship. And even if you feel like you're missing something, that doesn't mean you need another person. You need to work on
fulfill
that
that.
relationship.
Yeah, I get.
Yeah.
Yep, I hear you. Hey, tell us what you think. Head over to our Facebook page, Midday Kentucky. You posted this story on there.
Oh, yes, I did.
want to see what you say, everyone, whether you think I'm a little cray-cray or not. Something that I thought was quite interesting. Being Italian, everyone, we eat, we love, we shout, and then we eat some more. So where do we? This story that you're talking about is shouting at your partner a good or a bad thing?
Well, this is more about releasing your anger rather than acting it out in passive-aggressive ways,
Right.
which I think a lot of us as women tend to do, maybe without realizing it. And I realized some of these things
What do you tend
in
to do,
reading this
sorry?
article. Passive-aggressive
Right.
ways of taking out your anger with someone in a relationship or even, you know, non-romantic relationship. But this therapist had a post online saying that he gave an example. He had a client, a woman that came to see him for therapy, and she was upset that her husband chose a work dinner over dinner with her family. And she admitted to later accidentally burning his favorite shirt with an iron and pretending that it was an accident. And and then ignoring him and stuff like that. And he said, well, did you confront him? Did you have a big fight about it? And she said, no, because I'm keeping the peace. And so his argument was a lot of women bury things by saying they're keeping the peace, but you're secretly acting out in these passive-aggressive ways, ignoring
sneaky.
someone, doing the silent treatment. But a lot of it is something that you're maybe doing in a malicious way, like the silent treatment.
Right.
Maybe not burning the shirt, but he's saying, but what do you think about this? I hear that a lot. Women say, well, I'm just keeping the peace.
Yeah.
I'm the peacekeeper. And he's saying, but in the long run, that's worse
Killing
than
you.
just coming out and having a fight about it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Oh, yeah. Like,
Are you a peacekeeper?
no, I am
So
a
you'd let it
shouter.
rip to
yeah.
Doug?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. But, you know, I mean, I pick my battles. It's not like I'm just shouting at him all the time. I mean, but I come from a family
No
where
wonder he's gone away for so long.
he needed a vacay. Afghanistan is a vacay.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
No. Okay, but you do have to, vent it out. I come from a family where we did shout at each other. Everything was shouted out. That's not healthy. That's kind of dysfunctional, I'm sure. But at the same time, that's what I come from. That's my background. So I do, we do have our confrontations and everything. And he actually came from a home where it wasn't like that, I would say. And so it was in the beginning of our marriage. It is hard to kind of get on the same page.
So you'd let it rip if something was upsetting you?
Oh, yes. And now I think he's, and I can't say let it rip, but I mean, I certainly let him know exactly what I think about him going out to dinner with the work place versus my family. I would definitely let him know that.
Really? Yeah, but look, I mean, I'm not saying this that Doug doesn't like your family. I don't know. You know, like, but I'm just thinking to myself, if your husband, you know, or this woman, he really doesn't want to be with your family, isn't it better to be letting him do his thing than have a big fight at the dinner, or using this as an example?
Yeah.
But you know what? That's where the passive aggressive comes in. Then.
Yeah.
Because then if it becomes, I mean, if I've expressed how I feel and it still kind of keeps happening, or he just kind of ignores it, that's where the passive aggressive starts to happen. And that's not a good thing. I don't think passive aggressive in a marriage is a good thing at all. I think that you need to be able to talk things out, work things out every single time.
Okay. Look, I come from a family of shouters.
Yeah.
Truly,
Yeah.
shouters. But they truly, they don't shout verbal abuse. They shout to get their point across.
Yes, and that's how we are too. It's
Do you know
not
what I
verbal
mean?
abuse
Yeah.
at
Right,
all.
right.
It's
Yeah.
just getting a
And
point across.
we have conversations and we get heated in our conversation, and we do get louder,
Right.
which then can sound, I guess, being aggressive.
True, but that would be an example where we'll have, I don't know, a little tiff, I would say, or like a 1-minute conversation or
Yeah.
something. But that, I think just talking about things, it's better than later you text me and I ignore your message because I'm mad.
Yeah, that would
and then
really
the next
annoy me.
day, you know, you refuse to do a segment with me. Or,
Yeah.
and then we start doing little
And that's
things and then it
passive-aggressive.
just boils over is what he's
I
saying.
hate that.
Yeah.
And look, if you're doing that in a relationship, get out.
Yeah.
Man or woman, get out.
Yeah.
Who needs it?
Yeah, you don't.
It can be hard to realize
causes
it
grief.
sometimes, though.
It is, because you're trying
Alright.
to keep the peace. You think you're doing the right thing
Well, I'm
when
going
you're trying to keep the peace.
I'm keeping the peace now by moving on.
Okay,
How's
all
that
right.
sound?
Alrighty.
Contraceptive apps. Is this, you now pee on your phone to find out if you're pregnant?
No,
Oh,
no.
I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
Might have just
Oh,
been a new function of the iPhone 8. Do you know what I mean?
You can pee on your phone. Stay away from mine. No, it's a contraceptive app that was developed, and it's called Natural Cycles. And what it does is it tracks a woman's body temperature to determine when she is going to be most fertile. And it is 93% effective.
But don't you know that already?
No, women
As a
don't know
woman?
this. No, most women don't. There's a lot of, okay, we just gotta have to put it out there. When I was trying to get pregnant with my first son, I actually used the rhythm method, which is very similar to that's what this app is doing. It's basically tracking a woman's body temperature to determine when she is most fertile. And when your body temperature drops as a woman right before you ovulate, that time period is the best time to get pregnant. And so I did not know this. I didn't have this birds and bees talk with my mom when I was, a teenager. I didn't have that type of relationship with her. So I had no idea. Here I am in my 20s trying to get pregnant. I can't get pregnant, can't figure it out. All of a sudden, I read this book that talks about this, started tracking my body temperature, got pregnant the very first month. And it was that quick. And it was like, so with this app, they're touting that it's better and more effective than the pill. The pill is 91% effective. This app is 93%
Hold
more
on.
effective
So I'm a
to
little bit
prevent women from getting
right.
pregnant.
Okay, so this app helps you not to get pregnant.
Exactly. Well, or it can help you get pregnant too. I mean, you can look at
Yeah,
the
but
flip
it's
side of
saying
it.
it's 91%.
Effective to prevent women from getting pregnant, because you know the red zone. When you're in the red zone of getting pregnant, the app shows you do not use protection.
But you have to use this little machine beside it, like a thermometer.
That's a thermometer. So it's just basically that's what it's taking
Hey,
body
listen,
temperature
I
with.
think you're playing Russian roulette doing that.
Well, exactly, and that's kind of why I wanted to bring it to the table, because are you going to solely use this
Yeah.
app to prevent yourself from getting pregnant? I wouldn't trust that. I really wouldn't. I mean,
about
what
you?
are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know anyone that uses things like that to not get pregnant, but I know
Right.
a lot of people. My cousin is trying to get pregnant now, and she is using something similar, tracking fertility, like what you said,
Right.
to get pregnant.
Right.
I don't think people would use that as their birth
I literally-
control.
I
know.
But I think that's great because a lot of people have been writing that down or figuring it out on a little chart. To have it on an app, I think that's great.
Yeah.
I thought you would know automatically when you're most fertile.
No.
I have no idea.
This-
I'm sure now you don't know. Like, we
yeah.
don't want to have babies now, so we're not tracking it.
But yeah,
Well,
it's
I just
already-
learned something.
Yes,
Thank
well,
you.
good. I'd love to
I
educate
love
you,
that
Troy.
you did whatever that rhythm was. I don't know what that is. Like, Whatever works for you, I'm
Yes.
glad it worked.
It did,
Okay,
twice.
I'm going to Google it now to find out what it is. Hey, if you're looking for a career in cosmetology, or, you know what, just a fantastic new makeover in your life for a career, we have Barrett & Co. They're in next, and we're going to show you their brand new services that they're doing there. It's fantastic.
Nice.
Stick with us, everyone. You're watching Midday Kentucky.